whoa. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-dum, dun, 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 dun. I hope everyone is having a fantastic evening. Sorry for the weird light behind me. For some reason, it's just really weird outside right now. So, welcome to my Periscope that most of you probably join every day. Got a little bit of announcements before we get to the content for the day. Announcement number 1. If you have not been onto the FBA Master blog, you need to go do that today. Gotta say, it is my longest blog post I have ever written. And I actually did a full in-depth review of the Reseller Guide to a Year in FBA by Stephen. And it is totally from front to back. I read the whole thing starting last night until today and wrote it all. Go chapter by chapter, tell you guys what I like, what I dislike. Overall, I've got to say, fantastic book. You'll notice in some of my comments that I make in there that I say, well, you could have used a little more of this. This month was kind of lacking. But overall, I gave it 4.5 stars, and I said if he improved the month of May, it would be a full 5 stars for the book. I think it's a very well done book. And you get bonus points if you had added a few FBA Master blog posts as links in there. But needless to say, I was being a little nitpicky there, but it was actually just an extremely good book, and it was something that I never thought of, and it really breaks it down month by month by month, and it goes, here's what you should be concerned about this month, here's what you should be concerned about this month. And I've honestly got to say, I even learned something in one of the chapters. Oh my lord, I couldn't believe it. I felt like an idiot. I open it up and I read it, and he talks about supplies for shipping your products in, and one of the bits that he gives on there was like a duh moment, and I kind of felt like an idiot at that point and realized that $57 I paid for the book is absolutely nothing from just that one tip. But there was some great tips in there, so feel free to read the review, let me know what you think about it. But that is now live on the FBA Master blog. Also, you can find, let's see here, on there, the other post with Cully McCalkin, it looks like he's scared, Home Alone. Tonight is the Home Alone hangout. I am home alone. Actually, I'm going to go eat with my parents, and then I'm going to be back home. I've got a little prepping to do. So maybe we'll take the computer out to the prep yard, and not the prep yard, the garage, do a little bit of looking there. But you guys got 2 hours with me. I will be a little bit pre-gamed with some margaritas, and then I got some beer. This was an important decision I had to make yesterday. I had to go to the liquor store and determine which beer I was going to be drinking this evening. And we have a winner. Any guesses? Do we have any guesses out there on which beer won my pick of what I'm going to be enjoying this evening? I'll let you guys think about it for a second while we go into a little bit of other news. John's going to be writing, I think, his post tomorrow. Not Schlitz, I promise. It is not a domestic beer of any sorts. It has color to it. Craft beer fanatic here. I'm sorry, guys. Yingling, I don't consider a craft beer. I'm sorry. It's a craft for the domestics, but it's not a craft beer. Anyway, John will be writing, I think if he followed the prompt that I gave him, he will be writing about mistakes he's made, what he wishes he would have done better as a seller. So we'll see how that goes. If what you sent me is here today, I will be drinking it. Don't know if it's here though. And what I'll be drinking tonight is Stone Brewing out of California, and it will be their coffee milk stout, which is you get the 6-pack home, you got to try it out at night. So I tried it out yesterday. It was absolutely delicious. You'll also get some tonight in the hangout. I actually have a little bit of a kind of a schedule built out in my head, which you all know will never actually happen. But we're gonna do kind of some not morning announcements. We're gonna do some announcements, and then for 30 minutes of the hangout, I'm not sure when it's going to be, but we're actually gonna go through some online sourcing. But we're for the sole purpose of building us a list of items that will be perfect to merchant fulfill over the next few weeks, leading up until Christmas. So that's going to be a challenge. I'm not exactly, I think I have some ideas of how we're going to do this, or how I'm going to do it. But that's one of the things we're going to be doing tonight. Hope to have Kristen, you're welcome to come on and talk about your Q1 course. Just shoot me a Facebook message and I'll send you a link to join on as a presenter. I think we may have Andy Slamman stopping by. My dad may stop by for a little bit. Heard Nate McAllister may stop by. Travis Ross may be on there for a few seconds. Ken said he's out of town, or not able to do it. We'll see if he's on there. We just may have some great people stop by and to drop in for just a few minutes. Bezos will not be joining us. I couldn't pull enough strings for that one. I apologize. But we're just going to have some awesome people on tonight. We're going to just have a little bit of fun. You guys can think of it as kind of like that slumber party that you always looked forward to when your parents were away. So as we move into the content for the day, we're going to get a little deep right now. Maybe not too deep. But one thing that really stuck out to me as I was reading through the book I just read was the goal setting. And that's something that a lot of you, and I bet the numbers drop down to like 25 people here in the next few minutes. And I know this isn't a great topic to cover. It's not the most fascinating bit, but it really you need to take the time to actually sit down and think about what you want your business to look like next year. And here's kind of some advice that I have with it. I want you to set aside 2 hours in the next 3 weeks. I don't care if it's first thing in the morning, if it's in the evening, whatever it is. I want you to set that aside and dedicate it to setting goals for your business. Each one of you, from the brand new seller who's never shipped something into FBA, to those of you who have probably more experienced than I am, set 2 hours aside and start brainstorming on your goals for the year. And what I want you to do is take a big pad of paper or Post-it notes. I'll do Post-it notes or a dry erase board, something like that. And what you need to do is write down all of the things you want to accomplish. If it's, I want to sell this much on a day, I want to do this, I want to be able to quit my full-time job, I want to be able to take a vacation with my family, I want to do this, I want to do that. Write it all down. And I am almost right. I told you to drop to about 25 people. Boom, I knew I was right. So when you do that, you're going to lay it all out on the line. Don't hold anything back. And then what I want you to do is to go through and to set 3 categories. This is a necessity, this is a want, and this is a stretch goal. Okay? It's going to really help you start organizing which ones you have to do. So, when we're going to really focus first, after you brainstorm about 30 minutes, the next 30 minutes, I really want you to focus on those needs. If you look at like Maslow's hierarchy of needs and all of that, you know that you got to start with the basic first before you move up to a little bit more advanced needs, which go into your wants or your stretch goals. So in your needs section, there should be, by the time you're all said and done, about 5 goals in your needs section. That's what I want you to narrow it down to. And the way you narrow it down is you may combine some may be subtasks of a certain goal, but you'll find that typically, here's what it's going to be. It's going to be you want to sell more product, you want to reach a certain goal of monetary number, you probably want to be better prepared for Q4, You most likely want to start reducing the amount of time you spend doing this, and you really want to increase your profit overall. It's probably a mix of those in some fashion. Honestly, you guys may be able to drill down to 1 or 2 major goals. If you're able to do that, more power to you. But I want you to get down to at maximum 5 as you're going along with this. With those 5 goals, rate them. Which is your most important? So this shouldn't take you that long, but it could. This may be a multi-day process for you. You may really have to think about it. But you're going to set these goals. And then what I want you to do is to make sure they're SMART goals, which all of you, there's a blog post by Mike, go read it, about setting SMART goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So your goals need to be like super specific. I want to increase my sales by $100,000 by December of 2016. That could be my specific goal. I know it's achievable based upon my sales this year. I know that it's specific. It's all of those, so we're good. So we got that. And then what I want you to do is break it down to how are you going to achieve this goal. And when you start actually diving into the specifics, that's where we're going to take this big overarching goal and turn it into actually benchmarks, essentially, or tasks of what you need to do to achieve this. So if I want to increase my sales by blank amount, I got to work backwards from that. How much do I have to source to actually sell that much? What's my average return? If your average return is about 40%, you know you're going to need blank amount to get to your sales. So then you got to realize, how much does that really break down to per month? You can weight Q4 a little heavier, and you may want to be a little light in like June or March when sales are a little slow. But you can start seeing it. Okay, I need to hit $5,000 in net sales or total sales for January. How do I get there? Well, it means I get 40% return. I need like $120,000, no, $12,000 worth of inventory that I need to ship in at an average return of 40%. And since you wanted to turn in a month, start doing a little research on typically in the month of January, what ranks sell within that month. Then you have your roadmap of how you're going to achieve this goal. And then you break it down by month. Then you give yourself a little checklist. Did I do this? Check. Did I do this? Check. And you'll find that this checklist makes this really abstract goal achievable, because you're not gonna reach $100,000 worth of sales in January. But if you do this over 12 months and spread it out, then yeah, you can. So you're going to do that with your goals. You're going to write them down, and then you're going to post them somewhere. I don't care if it's in a picture frame on your desk. Make sure they're written down and they are posted. Then I want you to share them with at least 2 people. It's about accountability. I don't care if it's your wife, if it's your friend, if it's me. You can send me your goals. I can keep you on track. I'll set a calendar reminder to, hey, where are you at? Kind of thing. But that's what I want you to do with those goals. And then with your wants, narrow that down to 2 goals. 2 goals for your wants. It may be, I want a new car. And realize that this may be a longer term goal. May not be achievable in a year. But figure out how you're going to achieve that in 3 or 4 years, and start hitting your goals today. Start putting that checklist together. And you'll find, like, say it is you want to go to Disney World with your family. That may be a price tag of about 10 grand. So you can break this up into little things. If I want to go in 3 years, I'm going to take that 10 grand divided by 3. I'm going to divide that by 12. All of a sudden, I'm going to have these little increments of things that I need to get. That may be $120. I don't know the number off the top of my head. Let's see, 12. We can make it an even number. Say it's $12,000 to go. divide that by 4, it's 4,000 a year you're looking at. And 4,000 a year, you can start doing the math. That's so much a month. I can't do that all in my head right this second. That's my bad. But you start hitting those goals and start putting that money back. And yes, it may seem like a little bit longer term goal, but you need those. You can't just have short term goals. You need those longer term goals. So do the same process with those. You're going to start breaking them down in a checklist, hit those marks, have review periods. So you may set yourself up in July. July, you're going to reanalyze your goals and reset yourself on track. Maybe you're way ahead of schedule. Maybe you're way behind. How do you redo those goals at those points? Then the last one is, I want everyone to do this. I want everyone to pick a stretch goal. That if you just have the most phenomenal year selling online, what does that look like? Set that, and then give yourself a reward with it. So say it is, my stretch goal is, and I'm still working on mine right now, but say it is, I for a necessity, I need to hit $100,000 in sales next year. For a stretch goal, I want to hit $500,000. Say that's it. When I hit $500,000, I will treat myself by blank. And don't just say, pat yourself on the back. Give yourself something to work towards. Like if it was me, it would be, I am going to treat myself to 3 Packers games. Or something like that. I'm going to treat myself to a trip somewhere where it's a craft beer tour. I'm going to do blank. If it is something for you, say you have a $500,000 year and you made all this money, it may be, I'm going to pay off the rest of my house. Your treat may be to remove stress from, yeah, you can visit Chris in Indiana, that's fine. Or go grab a beer or two. So set what that is, and then write those down, build kind of how, if you were going to hit this, put those quality control points in, those benchmarking sets. Saying, if I'm going to achieve $500,000 worth of sales, what did that look like? So you know what your minimum is because it's in your needs section. But then you're going to hit and strive for that stretch goal section. Now, favorite quote, better shoot for the moon because if you miss, you'll fall among the stars. It's kind of the same kind of thought process with these goals. You want to shoot for that stretch goal because you know if you fall short of it, you're still going to be extremely successful. And I really like the tiered approach to awards. So like if I hit my goals, I have my need goals, I hit a reward. If I hit 40% on my stretch goal, I hit a reward. I reward myself along the way because then I work extra hard to get to that mark. Then once I hit there, I go, well, it's only this far to the next reward. It makes it very achievable as you go along. And like I said, if you guys want to send me your goals once you have this all worked out, I'll be happy to follow up with you and go, hey, where are you at right now? How can you get to this point? And once you have your goals all laid out, then you can start really building out your plan for the year. Because you're going to have all these checkpoints that you need to hit, the check boxes. And then you're going to start figuring out what tools that you're going to need to achieve these goals. You're going to start figuring, okay, maybe I need to invest in this. Maybe I need to invest in this. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to not do this. And that's just going to be extremely valuable to you. But without those goals, you're not going to be able to understand what tools you're going to need because you go, oh, I need this because they tell me I need this. Well, okay, fine. You may not. You may realize that you have to do it this way because of one of your goals, and if you don't do it that way, it's not going to be successful. So just work on those. That's going to be my push to you as we enter the next 3 weeks of busy season. A lot of you are done shipping items into FBA. Some of you aren't. I know I'm not. I went and bought. Oh, shit, that's a scale. But I have a carload of stuff. I'm going to be shipping this stuff in. I'm not going to stop. I know that I can make more money in the next 2 weeks sending items into FBA. And I realize that I tell you guys send the stuff in earlier, but I've also told you I will run the line. I will keep going. And I even if I'm late, it's still going to get in for the after the year, after Christmas sales. But I am not going to stop. Tomorrow at lunch, I know exactly where I'm going to go and exactly what I'm going to buy. I'm ready to go. But it's because I had a plan in place. And my plan was to push the envelope, to wait until I saw exactly what I wanted to purchase and go for it. I have my stock in that I want. I am doing inventory placement right now, but I have that built into my cost already. So I know what I'm doing, I'm excited for it, and I will be hustling for the next 2 weeks. But that was planned ahead of time. I intentionally have not purchased large quantities of something because I didn't want to get stuck with a price drop on it. Now, is that the best method? No, because a lot of you made a lot of money up until this point. But my restriction was time. So I know I've set myself aside. I know I'm going to be gone some parts of time, some days. So if I'm gone, I know that's going to play into the entire how is it going to lay out atmosphere. But I plan, we work through it, and I know what my goals are. So we work from there and go on. So that is what I have for you guys. If you cannot get enough of me, which I bet every one of you can, because my wife gets enough. She says, Chris, just go in the other room. Just stop talking all the time. But if you cannot get enough of me and want to chat a little bit, tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, so in 2.5 hours, I will be live on Google Hangouts. The link is in the Facebook group. There is an event, actually, that you can find that has the links to the YouTube page. The video will be streaming live on the blog. I'm glad you could have my way with but yeah, so I'm going to be on there. Right now, we're looking at a decent-sized audience. Not super huge. I was wishing we'd have a little bit more of an audience, but can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find that Chris is home, and he'll see you later. Bye, guys.